know this. But it's the topic.
Hey everyone, welcome to Just Talk with Denese and Amir. Amir's not here right now. We're waiting on Amir. He actually made a stop for me, so it's my fault. So I know we have some people. Oh, no one's on yet. Okay, that's good. No one's on yet, so that's good.
But you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Bucky. This is
Hello, Amir. Amir just walked in. No one's on yet. We're live today, Amir. We're actually live today. No one's on yet. You want to go get your water or whatever you drink? Yeah, we're gonna do everything. Listen, this is how we do. We doing what we do.
That was an interesting trademark. You just fall out.
Wow.
So you have those 2 seats over there, right?
2 seats and 2 at the table.
So I'm coming tonight and tomorrow. After that, I won't be coming out. Because, I got to prepare for my Saturday.
That you're gonna pack on Friday?
I actually did. Second, the podcast is about to begin.
It's already on.
It's on already. It's on right now. Right now. Well, it's not 7 here. Right. Yeah. 5:05. Yeah. No, nobody's on right now. What's up? No, it's almost on. It's not about the topic I told you about, but it is a topic. Something up to you.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not going, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. She says she sees it.
Baby, he loves me, loves me. I know that he loves me. And maybe that's fine, but I don't really know. Every time he puts me in, I just want you. Let's be the ball. Let's give the boy a hand. Yeah, y'all get a little entertainment while we wait for Amir, who strolled in, and now he on his phone. But you know, we gonna wait for Amir. Oh, let's hear it for the boy. Every time when he loves me, we all have a real good time. And maybe he sings for the key. That's all right for me. That's William. Yeah. That's what he does so well. All right, everybody. Amir's here. Say hello, Amir, since you're late. Go ahead.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? Look, I'm a little late, but I'm here. That's the most important thing. It's Tuesday. I think this week, it's our third show. Fourth show? Let's look at that. See, losing track of shows already. But it is great to be here. I'm glad that you're here with us. And as always, tell a friend. It's every 2 weeks or so. Build this up for the people. So we need y'all to be the people.
That's
right.
Do
your part.
That's right. Okay, so today we were actually supposed to have a ladies show, but two of our ladies could not make it today, so we decided to just talk as usual. We do have with us my friend D is here. D, come on over here and say hi to everybody.
My purse is stuck.
Hello. So Dee is here with us today. She's going to join in on Just Talking. We're just going to talk. We're just going to do what we do best. We're just going to talk whatever topic. We're going to talk about the topic. And we're just going to, and if you hear anything that you want to chime in on, feel free to chime in. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you think. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Just let us know what you think. Okay, Amir, anything you want to talk about today?
Okay, so first off, again, like I said, it's just great to be here. Welcome, Denise. You know, we do this every other 2 weeks or so. There's a few things that actually came to mind. You guys can tell me, you know, which way you want to go. I think last week we touched on a number of wonderful things, but some things came to mind or came across my face, you know, in the last couple of days, and even today, as a matter of fact. So one of them, which I thought was really interesting, and it was the older lady. She was on some sort of platform, and she was saying how she believes this current version of the world, monogamy, no longer exists or doesn't exist in the format that we've been accustomed to. But she didn't say that, you know, it's not a good thing or bad thing. She just said that with the way that the world is changing and how these newer generations are moving, there was some, you know, there may be some benefits to it as well as some drawbacks. And I was just wondering.
Benefits to monogamy or non-monogamy?
Benefits to non-monogamy. And she was saying, you know, in a nutshell, she said, for, you know, decades and for years, we've always been under the impression that you find your one soulmate and that person who, you know, you enjoy life with and who, you know, you make your entire world. She said, but to be fair, that was a ideology that, you know, again, it's just been around, you know, since the beginning of time. This newer generation doesn't see it that way. And she said, to prove it to you, she said, relationships as we know them go up and down. You have moments where things are great, you have moments where things aren't so great. But one of the things that she said, which I thought was interesting, she said, you know, start a relationship with somebody, there's the possibility you're breaking up. In that breakup, you may decide to, start a relationship with somebody else, or you may go back to that same person. And she was saying, think about, you know, what that really looks like in bandwidth. And a lot of times we don't necessarily think about it like that. We are usually caught up in just thinking to ourselves about, you know, what it's meant to us and how we feel about it. So I just thought that that was a really interesting topic again that I saw this lady bring up.
Do you think it's just for the younger? Because I see older generation.
Again, that's why I said I thought this would be a pretty good
It's
topic.
a very, very good topic. Very, very good topic. And who's that? Dana Wilson? Oh, hi, daughter. Hi. Thanks for watching. Um, that's a very good topic. I personally don't believe in this. What they call it? Poly,
Um,
pol-
Polygamous,
polygamous,
polygamy.
polygamy,
Mhm.
whatever. I
Several
don't
wives,
believe.
several
I
husbands.
yeah. I don't believe in that at all. One, what we're doing, and it's mostly there are a few women that do it, but for the most part, it's men that do it, and they do it because they don't want or they can't have or they can't see themselves with just one person. And my thing is, okay, if you're into that, if that's what you're into, okay, fine. I have no problem with that. But be fair to whoever your partner or partners are, because it's unfair. I think me and you had this conversation the other week. It's unfair to make a decision for anybody. I don't want anybody making a decision for me. If I decide that I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's in a relationship, that's my choice. Just like your choice is to be with people, multiple people. That's your choice. But if you tell me that and I say, okay, that's not what I want, then eh, respect me, respect my decision, respect that this is not what I want, and move on. Because there's somebody out there that wants that. So my thing is, I think it's all about the people. My thing, but be honest about who you are and what you are. That's all. That's how I feel about it. Just I don't agree with it, but that's me, because that's my view on it. I believe there should be one man and one woman.
I agree.
And if that's not your belief, that's not your belief, and that's fine. As long as you find somebody that agrees with you and that's willing to go through that with you. But don't put that on other people, because one, people's feelings get involved. There's a whole lot of stuff. People wonder why people have a lot of baggage. They have baggage because of stuff that people put onto them. People making decisions for them. Don't make decisions for other people. Your decision is your decision, and that's fine. And let other people make their decision. That's how I feel about it. Do you want to say something?
I believe in one man, one woman.
Talk a little louder.
I believe in one and one, man and woman. And as a woman, there's so much within us. We're so different. And I think that's what a man looks for because he wants multiple personalities. He
Mm-hmm.
wants one that likes to dance, one that likes to smoke the soul, clean, but you can't have it all. And you have to pick and choose. Maybe we'll get to it. The three. In
Well,
one
maybe you'll
woman.
find somebody that does have it all. I mean,
For me,
there are
it's
women
one and
out there.
one.
I know that's it. But there are women out there that do everything. There are women out there that do that, and there's some that don't. There's some that are more business minded. That their work it comes first, and they're focused on career, and that's okay, because if you're focused on career, I mean, you want somebody that you can build with anyway. So, I mean, you want to say anything?
Um, well, first of all, I'd like to say I appreciate the comments by both of you ladies. I think to be fair, and this is something referring to what Dee said. In theory, yes, there are multiple personalities within both men and males and females. But I look at even that the same way I look at acting, and I know this is going to sound crazy. I love Denzel Washington. I love Sanaa Lathan, whomever. But a lot of times they are who they are. Yes, they're playing a character, but after you strip away all that, you're like, that's still Denzel. You understand what I'm saying? And even as far as men and women are concerned, while we, tend to believe like, oh well, like you said, I could be all these different things. Yeah, no. Like I'm not saying that we can't have a conversation about it, and then as you both shared, figure out what to do and how to go from there, how to move forward with these ideas on the table. But I think sometimes we short ourselves in the space of believing that we have the ability to transcend all of these things when genuinely we are who we are. The other things that come along with meeting new people or being around different people and different energy, and Denise knows this because her and I have had extensive conversations about that. It is just different. There are people who you have in your life who, as you just pointed out, maybe are your financial people. You have people in your life who are your fun people. Everybody can't be all of those because some people just don't know how to really move within, in and out of those spaces per se. So I just, again, to what you said, Denise, I think you're absolutely right. You have to find somebody who most certainly understands who you are and, again, where it is you guys are trying to go singularly and, together as a couple. That's the pathway that you're choosing.
Dana has a question. She says, because he likes multiple personalities or because he lacks discipline.
Well, here's the thing. Interestingly enough, when we look at the fact that somebody might like variety in something, to the question, we tend to believe that, like you said, it's lack of discipline. But I always say this, and again, Denise is gonna kill me, but she knows I've said this to her multiple times, and I'll say this to the people out there who are listening and watching. Let's think about all the other things that you have in your world, technically speaking. There's Chinese food, there's West Indian food, there's soul food. You like all these different kinds of foods. You do not want to have fried chicken and peas and mac and cheese and greens every day. Sometimes you want to switch up. The same thing goes for every other aspect of your life. You don't wear the same underwear. Ladies and men, we change bow ties. I'm a bow tie guy. They can tell you, I change bow ties, you change hairdos, you change shoes, you change bags. Every other aspect of your life, to some degree, has some variety. Supposedly, when it comes to us being in a relationship, and again, we're talking about if that's what you're choosing to do and that's where you are. That's supposed to be one and done. That sounds kind of odd when you think about it when everything else in your life has variety.
No, it don't sound odd to me because I'm not comparing my relationship to my drawers.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. Right. I'm not doing that. My relationship is my relationship. And my thing is, if we sit down and we have a conversation and we say, okay, we want to date, and then we date and we say we want to move on. My thing is the understanding with us is it's me and you, and that's it. And if you want variety, then you let me know that up front. Listen, I don't want to just date one person. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, and then I can say, you know what? You're not the one for me.
Isn't it the same, like you say, Chinese food, Italian food? You have several women that I like Chinese, you like Italian. So how do you make a decision? And then you like Korean. When we have dates, when we go out, for each individual, or how do we combine it?
Well, the thing is, again, what both of you said earlier, it's not necessarily a combination so much as it's a conversation to figure out if it's a fit. See, the problem is most of us don't have the conversation prior to figure out if it's a real fit. We are physically attracted to one another, and that goes for both men and women sometimes. So we start with the initial attraction of how people aesthetically look, and sometimes we don't go much more surface than that. I'm not saying it's everybody, but just generally speaking. So without again, to your to the point you just made, having a real conversation. What is it you like or don't like? So I'm going with it until I get to a moment where I don't like something that you don't like, but because we never had that conversation, now we're at an impasse, at a pivotal moment early on in what we're trying to, figure out.
So what it sounds like is we're going back to a conversation we had about communication.
Correct them under.
It all comes back to that. It all comes back to communication because communication has to be, and that's from the door. Communication has to be had from the door. And I know a lot of people don't like to have conversations. And that's fine too, because if you don't like to have a conversation, you're definitely the person for me anyway, because I like to have a conversation. You're going to talk to me. I need to know where you stand. I need to know how you thinking. I need to know these things. And a lot of people can't do that. They don't know how to do that. Dana's really talking to us today. Let's see what she got to say. I wonder if poly men are okay with their woman also having multiple relations. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Because um, again, there are women out there that like polyamorous, that's what it's called, relationships. They like those as well, and that's why I said find what's right for you. Because if you want a poly relationship, then okay, there's a woman out there that's gonna go for it. And obviously there are, because men are living with multiple women in the same house. Like they all cohabitating, if that's a word. I don't even know if that's a word, but they are they mix and mingle in the same house under the same roof. So yeah, I think there are. I think, but uh, do they want them to go out and do what they doing, or do they just want them to themselves? That's a good question, Dana. That's a good question.
But I have a question. People who do this, that have multiple wives, the Mormons, are they Mormons?
No, I mean, well,
No, no,
that is one religion that supposedly I think
right.
that may be
But now it
practicing,
seems
but
like everybody's doing it now.
Islam, has some tenets in that religion where that is a possibility. But again, to somewhat answer the question, again, it goes back to first and foremost getting to know your partner and knowing who your partner is. But the other thing is insecurities are insecurities, and a lot of that starts very early on, just based off of whatever experiences you've had in your life to the point of when you get to a situation where somebody's asking you to be polyamorous or in a stable monogamous relationship.
What
It
about
goes
this?
again to
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it goes again to what Denise said a moment ago. This is why communication becomes so important, because without communication we're going on assumptions, and a lot of times when you go on assumptions, there's the slippery area of you not being able to really decipher literally what people think and or feel versus knowing it because they've shared it with you, and now to your point you have time to process it and think to yourself, does this make sense, does not make sense, and move forward in that regard.
Just
Oh,
bring
go
one
ahead. I'm
show
sorry.
in,
Go
one
ahead.
show in
Go ahead.
where the man is. They brought a show out on TV. The man had like what, six wives, and the wives don't get along.
Okay.
But they all had their own home, and then they had to share this man. Like Tuesday's your night, Wednesday's my night. Hello, but what I'm saying is that now that same show is separate because not all the women want to be free, and it's costing money for them to separate because he married all of them. So I don't see how that works because women in themselves have different personalities, and we don't all get along. If I might be jealous of you, I don't like you, and how does that work when this one man has to deal with all these different personalities, and he knows X don't like Y.
Oh, they like that though.
Oh, okay.
They like that though.
So you're gonna try and then say
I was gonna ask something. I forgot what I was gonna ask now. We were talking about it has something to do with something that me and you talked about before
it'll probably come
concerning
back.
this topic, and okay, it'll come back later. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
So another
no. She commented on what I said earlier. Um,
But I think to a point that you just made, yes, we sometimes figure out how much people may or may not get along. But I think again, the bigger piece or the bigger part of that conversation is just that, the conversation. Some of us, and this was something Denise and I discussed one time, just hanging out. I would say this: when it comes to even relationships and love, you fall in love at different, various stages of your life. Sometimes as early as preschool or whatever the case may be. You don't
preschool.
necessarily.
I don't know about preschool.
But the only reason why I'm saying that is because, to be fair, when you're enamored with somebody, yes, in preschool you're supposedly not developed, as much as great as you are, later on in life. But you know when you're in preschool or whatever, little Tommy likes you or you like little Sharon or
And
whatever
they
the case may
push
be.
you. They
You,
push
you
you.
understand what I'm
Yes, I
saying?
I
know.
think boys more, but they don't really like girls. They don't know that they like girls at that
That's
point.
and
So
it's
that's not. I don't call that love
well, but,
because they
but
don't know that they like girls at that point. So let's not use preschool. That's a little
well,
too young.
Infatuation.
That's really too young.
well, well, by the time you
That's
get to
really a little
grade
too
school,
young.
but by the time you get to grade school, you kind of know that there's something different about not always wanting to be around the fellas. And I see, Sharon, and everywhere she goes, technically my eyes are going, and I'm, looking to see what she's doing, and so forth and so on. And again, like you said, we can't necessarily call it love unless infatuation. Again, earlier stages have different terminology. But the point is, as early as then, you start having, that ability to, kind of see and feel how things are different for you than what you might normally do or not do. And because of that, you're starting to try to figure out or, process those feelings and what those emotions mean or don't mean. Back then, you do I get a Valentine's Day card and, all these, wonderful things that, you kind of go through that process early on. But again, as you get older, hopefully you start to process a little bit differently. You start to understand a little bit differently, and make either more solid or at least decisions that have better understanding to it. So I think that again that factors in, and that's why by the time we get to monogamy or relationships later in life, you might have already, had your heart broken maybe once or twice or whatever. So you're not as much. And this goes for both sides. This isn't a one-sided thing. This goes for
Okay,
both
I've
sides.
had my heart broken
Okay, excuse
multiple
me.
times. Don't mean I want to have five different men. First of all, let me tell y'all something. It's too much stuff going on out here. That's number one. There's too much stuff going on out here. I don't want nobody that's laying up with everybody else. Because let's be honest. Although we use protection, there are times when it might just be too heavy, and you're not using that protection. I want to be so secure in the person that I'm with to know that if that happens, I'm safe, he's safe, we're good. But if he's out there sleeping with X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, uh, who knows? Who knows? Now my life is in jeopardy because he decided to do something that, or she decided, in the man's case, she decided that, to do something. And y'all, it's too much up on, in this day and age, it's way too much stuff going on. Dana, I see you, and I saw what you said earlier, and I was gonna hit on that, but Amir threw that in, so I had to come in punching. But let me see. Okay, so Dana said she would never date a poly man, but if she ever consider wait. Oh, if she ever considered it, she would want to know why he chooses the lifestyle. That's a that I mean, I don't know, Dana. I don't even know if I care.
What's out in the
I
open
really
instead of
right.
behind the closed door?
I really don't
I
even know
think
if I care. Like if he's into that, I'm like
I think
I'm
it's
like bye.
because
I don't know.
he wasn't out in the open. He wasn't be able to be free to be able to freely do it out in the open. Whereas most men do it behind closed doors, and the other women just don't know. So he just want to be able to express himself. I
Okay.
think that's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. No, could be. Yeah, I'll give him that. I mean, at least he's honest. I
Trying to be
mean,
honest.
at least he's honest. I'll take that.
But at the same point, if you have three wives, why are you looking for a fourth?
Because
Or
because
fifth one?
because the three don't, one of them don't cook, or one of them don't clean, or one
So
cooks, one
you want
cleans,
the rest of
one
seven
has good
things.
sex, and the other one doesn't read. I don't know what I don't know what.
Rest, remember, it's 6 out of 7. You rest the seventh day.
I mean, to again to both your points, and even to the point of what is being asked, that any and all things that we do are prevalent on what our experiences have been in life. Again, could have had your heart broken a few times, and maybe in your mind, because sometimes people in theory, believe that if they move into certain spaces, for them, that's a sense of security, or that makes them feel a specific way. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that, unfortunately, that is how we operate as human beings sometimes. We hear all the time that, promiscuity is supposedly a microcosm of, something having gone on maybe in your childhood or whatever the case may be. But I think that, again, it's an internalization thing, and a lot of times, because we don't always look at everything as far as whom we're, to both your points, deciding to partner with, whoever we're deciding to procreate with, and all of these kinds of things, we might miss some stuff. And then there's just the plain old fact that sometimes people hide things in plain sight. Look, a lot of us have been in situations where you met somebody, and for 3 months, 6 months, a year, they had the perfect cover and they were everything and whatever. And then some of that mask slipped off, and he was like, "Hey, I missed this. Where did it go left? I was the whole time." So I just, again, between communication, obviously taking note of what people actually do and how it pertains to you and how it makes you feel. To me, all of these things play a role in, any and all of these kinds of outcomes.
So Amir,
Yes, ma'am.
so D and I stated how we feel about this. I mean, where do you stand on this?
On,
Polygamy or monogamy?
ooh, that's a good question.
I hope your lady ain't watching.
It's a good question.
She said, "What?"
I think
Good
this.
question.
I know, because I do think this. I think monogamy, there is some validity to it, but I think there's some validity to polygamy too. And that's just me being
I
honest.
said, where do you stand on
I
it?
got
And
you.
that's what you think about it. I said, where do you stand on it?
I think that it is up to the individual. Listen to me. I'm dead serious when I say this. I think it is up to the individual.
You're not answering my question, but
I'm,
okay.
I'm not answering your question specifically because in my particular case, I've been on both sides of the fence, to be honest with you. And I found that there is good and bad in all sides of it. So that's why I'm saying I can't definitively say for me that I stand on this side of it or on this side of it, because I really do believe that there is some good and bad in both sides. It just depends on, to your point, and to Dee's point, if you have that conversation and the two of you decide, hey, this does or does not make sense.
Here we go. Let's see.
It does.
I think men who need multiple women don't have a desire to the woman's needs. I think don't have a desire to the woman's needs. It's all about their needs. Okay, so they're not thinking about the woman's needs. It's all about their needs. I want a man who wants me and wants to be. That's what I'm talking about. That's all. Most of us are really looking for somebody who and sometimes and you got to take the good with the bad. Like you said earlier, you have some good days, you have some bad days. Well, my thing is, you're gonna have to accept the good days and the bad days. I mean, because no relationship is perfect. People don't get along all the time. There are gonna be some times where you don't disagree, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, then that's when you sit down and you work on your relationship. That's where the work comes in. At nobody wants to do the work. That's the problem. Nobody wants to work. Like this is
I wanna
where
knock on the
right.
door.
Yeah.
I want that.
Everything got to be peaches and cream every day, all day long, 365 days. No, that's not how that works. Everything is not always good. You're gonna have some days where you're like, man, I hate this person, but you know, deep down inside, you really love that person, and you would do anything you can to keep that person. That's what I'm looking for.
Again,
That's who I'm looking for. Anybody else? Anything else? No. You gotta go. Because if you move with the weather, then you know. Listen, I can be a handful. I know I can be a handful. I'm a handful with my friends, so I know I'm a handful with my man. So I know. Listen, he got to be able to deal with me ups,
gotta
downs,
be
goods,
able to know
bads,
him.
and exactly like we have to be able to want to work on us. We have to be able to do that, and a lot of people are not willing to do that. The work, you gotta put that work in.
I agree. I think, again, it's a valid point. But I think the other part of it is something that you and I've touched on before as well. We got to work on ourselves. See, a lot of us are, saying it comes with. Everybody's not ready for it comes with this and it comes with that. Because to be honest with you,
Don't get in a relationship.
and I say this, humbly, there are a good portion of us who we're in relationships because we can't and don't know how to be by ourselves. But you know why you can't or don't know how to be by yourself? Because you don't even like it. See, there's layers to everything, and a lot of us don't want to, be honest with that part of the conversation. Oh, well, you don't like you. If you can't spend time by yourself, what makes you think somebody else wants to spend time? I'll wait because a lot of us are, that's an honest to God fact that a lot
Well,
of
I
us
must
don't
really
each
love
other.
me.
But I'm just saying,
I must really love me.
but there are people who, to be fair, and this goes for both men and women, really don't like themselves. So they get into relationships because you're looking for
So
somebody
you're
else to
saying that
complete you.
no. I don't believe that. I don't believe people get into relationships because there are people that just cannot not be in a relationship. I get that, but I don't believe that there are so many people out there that because they're in relationships because they don't know how to be. I don't think that it's that big of a no. I don't think so. I think they're in a relationship because they truly love the person and they work on those relationships. Those are the ones that work on their relationships. You have to be able to put that, like I said, you got to be able to put that work in. If you can't put that work in, it's never ever going to last. Um,
I'm more interested in also hearing how women being married to one man, I think they are the ones that don't like themselves. Because you have
being
five women.
married to one man.
Yes.
Oh, you mean 5 women
Why?
married to the same man? I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
No,
Okay, all
five
right,
women
okay.
go to the same man.
I was confused.
So why?
It's like, wait a minute.
So why are they? How did you agree to that? Because you know what you're sharing. You know what you're sharing. Because if it was private and you found out, you were sure you'd be pissed, right? If I found out you was messing with my man, wouldn't I be pissed?
No.
So but now you have five women with one man. How happy can you be with yourself? You think that nobody else wants you?
Okay, to the point that you just made, is it that nobody else wants them, or is it the fact that somebody is saying to themselves, I don't need to pigeonhole myself to a specific situation because
But they're
to
still
be
holding
fair,
on. They only have one man. But that
again,
one man has multiple women.
I'm
And
not.
they're committed to that one man.
But if if in their heart and their spirit, for whatever reason, they feel as though they don't, or they, do you understand what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, but I'm saying here's the other side of that, which is them saying to themselves that that's how they feel. That's in their spirit and that's in their heart. That's what
But I'm
makes
gonna
sense to
take it
them.
back to the show that I saw.
Mhm.
He had six wives, by the way. I think it's
Okay.
six, and none of them basically can stand each other. And they're leaving him. They're all divorcing him because they're not getting along. I think he has one left, but they're all leaving him now because five women to one man. Women alone, they don't like. Most women don't like each other. So to have five with one man, now you're competing. It's a competition.
Well, now that is the part that you really need to touch on. It's the competition, but that's the competition within y'all. Because the guy is like, whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
So
He's saying
look,
whatever.
no, because I always say this, and I think that you just made a super powerful point. Competition, technically, is between y'all. It ain't between us, because dudes don't care. It's not that serious, guys. I'm not saying all dudes. I'm not
Okay.
saying what's wrong, but I'm saying some. It's not that serious. And I only know this because, to your point, as you move on, move around out here in the world, you realize the certain aesthetics and certain things that you do. It ain't for us. Because, look, if you ask the average guy, he'll smash anything. They'll date just about anything, and y'all know this because you always. Well, how did she end up with him? All the extra stuff wasn't what he was really into, or
I
what he
don't
was,
think I ever asked
but I'm sharing this with y'all. No, but I'm sharing this with y'all because we're having this conversation at this particular moment. And I always, say to women because they always say, "Well, hey," I said, "She's not fond of me. She's not, but she probably isn't confrontational in some ways. There's probably other things that she does that brings to the table that you don't bring to the table." And see, to be fair, nobody says that, and that's what I mean about the internal struggle that most of us have to deal with, which is figuring out how we're showing up not only as ourselves, but in relationships as it pertains to people who we're trying to build, a life with, or deciding to date. Those worlds are spaces and places that we have to be more honest with ourselves about what that looks like and what the dynamics
I mean, you and I are not agreeing today at all. We're not agreeing today at all. One, because, like I said before, it all comes from the conversation. And to be honest with you, a lot of men will lie in the conversation because they're gonna tell you what they think you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And my thing is, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, because once I see that lie, you're done. You're out. I don't have tolerance. My tolerance level is so low now that because I give you the room and the space to do just to be honest, because I give you that, don't
take it for granted.
right, like
Don't not
I'm I'm sitting here giving you everything. I'm laying it all out on the table for you. Like, this is who I am. This is what it is. Da da da. And this is what it is. You let me know what you want. Let me know what it is that you really, really want. Let me know how you feel. Let me know. I don't need to know about your past. That past thing, and that's a thing. That's a lot of stuff that people need to get out of too. People's past are their past. At this day and age, we all have a past. I don't need to know what your past is. I don't care what your past is. What I need to know is, where are you going now? I'm going forward. I'm not looking back. I'm going forward, and I want to know where you are now. And this is a lot of things that men just lie about, and for no reason. What are you lying about? Like, be who you are, and it's okay to be who you are. When you lie, you're telling me that you're a selfish person. That's what it is. You're nothing but selfish, because all you thinking about is yourself. You're not thinking about me. You're thinking about yourself. And that right there ends all relationships. This is why relationships don't last. That's when the work can't be put in, because you are only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about we. You're not thinking about us. You think about you, and that's not how that works.
again, super valid. I absolutely understand. Again, always my addendum on that is, and this goes for both men and women. All of us can't handle the truth. Look, that's a wonderful theory that we come up with, but everybody can't handle it. I'm not saying you. I'm saying generally speaking.
Doesn't matter. Be honest. It doesn't matter. Be honest,
it
because my thing
sounds
is, if
good.
you're honest from the door, you give the other person the opportunity to decide what they want to do. When you're lying, all you're doing is deciding what you want to do.
When they're
It's a
lying,
lie. It's no.
that's what you want to hear, because they're not going to tell you the truth about themselves, because they're thinking
If they're lying, they're not telling me what I want to hear.
they think they are.
No, they're not telling me.
They,
They're lying. They're not telling
sometimes
me what I
do.
want to hear.
I think they do.
So my thing is, just be honest. Be honest about where you are from the door, where you're going forward. Be honest about that, regardless of what the outcome is. Because if you're thinking, oh, if I tell her the truth, she's not going to be with me. Guess what? That's your decision. That's not her decision. And you're not even giving her the opportunity to make a decision. Because from the door, you're lying to her, and she's falling for somebody that doesn't even exist. So you don't exist.
I will give you that.
Dana got quiet on us. Where you at, Dana? Cause I ain't heard from you. Where you at, girl?
All right,
Anything
taking
else?
care of the loud.
Anything else?
Um, Nothing else that I could think of off the top of my head. I think
Okay.
it was a
This
really
was good. This was really, really good. Dana, thank you. You know, you stayed in the conversation with us. Thank you so much for being with us. We went a little over, and that's okay. What she said? Let's see. You said it all. Thank you, girl.
From California.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. Um, we hope everybody enjoys this. I mean, a lot of people didn't get on today, but I'm sure they'll look at it later on, which is fine. This is the first time that we've actually done it live, so this was great. This was fun. We're gonna keep doing this because I like the interaction. I like that. Um, don't forget. Well, for those of you that are not on that will watch it later, don't forget to leave us your comments. Let us know how we're doing, good, bad, and different. It doesn't matter. We want to hear it all. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. D, I forgot to thank you. Thank you for being on with us
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, we have more people that's gonna come on. We're definitely gonna do the woman show. I really want to do that woman show. Informative information. We're definitely gonna do that. But thank you again. Thank you. Oh, I see that.